Things are incredible. It's just so quiet in the river, and all night we kept hearing the fish jumping and little birds, and I think there's a big road not too far though. The colors when the sunrise comes up, it's pink and then it switches to yellow, orange, and especially right now the trees are starting to change colors, so it's just magnificent. And there's that little steam rising from the river. I love this, but I think I might have to go make some coffee soon because we pretty much got out of bed and took off.
So we're just crossing Cross Lake, and just a little bit weird markers, because there was a red marker back there on our left and then a green marker like way on our left, and it just so happens like right in the middle of the lake that you see all these birds standing on rocks, and it seems like you actually got to go quite a bit to your port side and then swing back around to your starboard to come back into the channel. And as we were coming out, I saw a depth of like 5'5", so I think there's definitely some rocky bits or some shallow spots in over there to avoid. Here's the green marker.
It's not fair, I'll see with my eye.
We are in Baldwinville, New York.
Baldwinville?
Baldwinville? Yeah, it's close enough. And it's a pretty gloomy old day. We made pretty good time though here, like 5 hours, and from the last lock, lock 24 I think it was. And then we have lock 23 right here. And I think we're gonna go through it tomorrow because it's a nice free wall here. We got power, water, and I need to go for a walk because my legs and back are kind of sore. Haven't been moving very much lately, so it's time to go explore. So these things are really neat. They seem to be all over along the canal. In almost every town they all have one, and you can kind of just open it up and see if there's anything that you like.
Ooh, clock cluster. Ransom, that sounds really exciting. New book?
Grab it on the way back. Oh look, there's another one, The Spy. Oh,
I've read that one.
They're all Clive Cussler.
Well, that was exciting. We just did our first log going upwards. We just did log 23 and we went up about 7 feet. And I was a little stressed because I've heard that going up is harder than going down in the logs. But you know what? It went so smooth. We just kind of steadily held the boat just like an inch away from the wall, but it went quite slow and nice and smooth, so no scratches, and we carry on.
Seems like we're still having some issues with our engine mounts. I thought I solved it, at least for, you know, the time being, but everything's still shaking around and loosening off the bolts, and when we go actually what we would consider a good cruising speed, it seems like there's a knocking, and that's partly because our stuffing box, the shaft going into the stuffing box, isn't lined up perfectly anymore. I'm pretty sure it's because the whole engine's kind of wobbled around and it's not sitting exactly where it should be. From what I can tell, the coupling is nice and flush, so that's okay, but the entire engine, I believe, needs to get pushed over to one side, and what's happening is the whole engine is kind of vibrating and shifting a little bit, and I think it's making the stuffing box and shaft kind of cockeyed a little bit. And anyway, it's a little bit frustrating because it seems like every day there's something new with this engine. Actually, the engines weren't running great, so it's everything from the coupling back that we're having trouble with. So right now we're going at like 4 points, between 4.5, 4.6. So we slowed down a little bit from yesterday. We were cruising closer to 6 knots. But there's a lot less knocking with it at this speed, so we're gonna keep it here. The debate right now is really, are we gonna cross the big lake that we had planned to cross today, or are we gonna try to fix the issue beforehand? Right now with the speed as it is, it's not really wobbling nearly as much, and the stuffing box is relative, like, you know, doing a bit of this, but with the speed increase, it does this, and it's you can feel it in the boat. The whole boat is kind of vibrating, and it's just, it doesn't sound good, and I don't want to continue like that. So I think we're gonna decide to continue at this speed. We still got plenty of time to cross that lake, and it seems like on the other end of the lake there's a few hardware stores where I can get some bigger bolts and hopefully some fast curing epoxy, so that I can epoxy the leg bolts that are going into the stringers much more securely. And then all I'll have to worry about is the bolts going through the engine mounts that are into the wood, that the string that's in between the stringers and the engine mounts. So that's the game plan as of right now. Hopefully it works out, because this is very stressful and I just want our engine to run smoothly so we don't cause any damage to it.
It's really convenient when you find diesel right on the canal and you can just pull in. So we filled up our jerry cans back in Buffalo, and now we're pretty much in Brewerton and filling up right here. It's convenient.
We didn't make it across the lake like I was just discussing. We wanted to, but we decided to stop before it because, well, it's a long bike ride, it's 45 minutes, but there's a Home Depot which seems to have everything we need if we need to go get it. Which is some fast drying epoxy, some longer stainless steel leg bolts, which the place across the lake didn't have. So regardless, we have everything we need somewhat close, you know, within an hour and a half there and back of pedal biking. And we're going to attempt to re-solidify the blocks that our engine is connected to. Seems like the motor mounts are absorbing everything just fine. So I think the main problem is those blocks are moving around and therefore disaligning the engine, and then the engine starts knocking and it just doesn't sound good. So let's go see. We're actually going to take a quick check nearby here. There's a marine repair shop, so we're just going to see if they have anything that we can make use of and try to solve our problem. Wish us luck. So it turns out the Home Depot only has the leg bolts. I got to do a bit of a temporary fix because I'm not happy leaving it as is. So my plan is to take the old shorter 5-inch leg bolts that I had in there originally and drill out a new hole on this side, because I already did it on the other side, and see if we can get it any better for now. I hate this. I can't stand not having what I need to do the project right, but it's the way it is. All right, well, it seems like adding that leg bolt made quite a difference so far. Fingers crossed it lasts at least till across the lake here. And so we're gonna untie, try to get across the lake and test it on the move. There you are. Actually, let me pull the boat in a little more so I can get on it after. There you are. Let's rock and roll. Woohoo! Washing your hair.
Woohoo! Washing my hair on Lake Oneida. We've got about a 4-hour crossing and it's beautiful. So yeah. I need water quick. Lake Oneida is way bigger than I thought. It's actually pretty huge. And you've got to be careful crossing it because if it gets super windy, you can get some pretty big waves. Like apparently it goes up to 6 footers. And with the mast on like this, we don't want to be rocked too much. And it's really nice being on a Tuesday because there's not too many power boats, so not as much wake, which is really, really good. And it's about a 20-mile crossing, so hopefully everything goes smooth and we show up a bit before sunset.
This is insane. It's October 1st. I'm not complaining, but it's like 26 degrees today. I'm showering outside in the cockpit, or like sort of showering. And yeah, it's so nice. I'm so grateful for the nice weather we've been having.
And this is how we park. We're in Sylvain Beach on the other side of Lake Oneida. Let's go explore and maybe get some food in us. I think we're becoming professionals at docking. I really think so.
Don't jinx it. Next time we're gonna smash into something.
I already put a ding on the boat the first time I docked it in the canal. But you're really, really good. And I'm handling the lines pretty decent, I think.
Yeah, you're doing awesome.
A couple was walking over to help us, and then I think they were like, ah, those guys are too good. We're walking away. Well, this is welcome to our life. Every single evening we look at our maps and the guidebooks. We're trying really to figure out where we're gonna spend the next day, about how much distance we're gonna cover, and what's interesting. So in a big day for us is about 40 miles, because more than that, well, the boat just won't cover that much distance. We don't go that fast. And we usually try to find a location where we can dock for free for the night. I mean, we did end up spending $14 one night, but most of the locks you can tie at them either upstream or downstream for them for free. They don't usually have power, and the walls are really, really high. So it really depends what you're looking for. For ourselves, we don't need power, so we can tie pretty much anywhere, which is really convenient because we got the solar panels, and mind you, all day we motor, so the batteries get recharged pretty much the whole day long. So that's it. We're pretty much trying to find if the cities have like dock walls or which locks are where, and trying to decide where we'll be spending the next night.
So where are we spending tomorrow, do you think?
Well, not too sure. I'm kind of still looking down the thing. Rome is really close, so we should probably go a little further. But then,
We've made it all the way to Rome, Italy.
it's so funny. In New York, you have Rome, Amsterdam, Belgium. What else? I feel like we've seen other ones.
There's a few anyway.
Yeah, you travel all throughout the whole Europe within one state.
Oh, you're right. Thank you again, Dan, for this guidebook.
This is awesome.
Which we'll definitely make sure to send back to you. And this little list has been very, very useful.
Yeah, we get all the distances between all the different destinations, so it makes it easier for us to know how far we can travel, as well as we have to travel between the hours of operation of the lift bridges as well as the locks. And it takes a little bit of time for each lock, but usually not too long, like 15 minutes more or less. There's one lock we spent an hour because we were waiting for a cruise boat to go up, and a couple more people added to our lock to go down. So we ended up in there for a while.